Good morning, everyone. Mic check, mic check. Can you guys hear me and see my screen? Just making sure everything's set up. It does seem like the bit rate is a little bit low today, but hopefully the stream is still manageable. But with that being said, today is Tuesday, October the 7th. Yesterday, kind of nice rally towards the all-time highs on the major indices. A lot of things to kind of talk about here. Semis continue to push towards the upside. We have a lot of names that are moving up nicely here. Tesla rebounding nicely as well, getting back above your Friday's highs. We'll take a look at some of these other tech names here as well coming into today. Yes, let's see. Good. Yes, okay. Yeah, the bit rate should be fine. At least it can stream properly in 720. I'm not sure how it is in 1080, but let's kind of dive right into exactly what I'm looking for. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay. First things first, let's talk about the major indices, and then we'll go into some tech names coming into today. So let's take a look at the hourly chart here for the ES. As you can see, fairly bullish here on the higher time frames, right? Just kind of building up these higher lows in the overall markets. We're actually creating now a flat top break. So in my opinion, very bullish here on the ES for now. It's going to be this push back up and towards our all-time highs. So what we like to see is the reaction that we have off of your all-time highs coming into today. On the ES, you can see higher lows are being built. Now what we like to see reaction, as I mentioned, off of our all-time highs. If we go back onto the 15-minute time frame, right, similar thing, right? Higher lows are being built, right? Yesterday, Friday, or yesterday we basically had an inside bar day here on the ES. On the NQ, we're a little bit more bullish, but basically for the ES now, what I like to see is it really gravitate up and towards our all-time highs along with our previous day highs here, which is going to be your 67.97. So this is what I have here on the higher time frames coming into market open. Another possible scenario that I have for the ES is really this dip all the way back down in towards your 67.80 for this continued push back towards the upside here as well. Let's see, voice should be clear. Yeah, sorry, the voice should be good. I'm not sure if it's, let me check. Yeah, everything should be good here. Okay, that's what I have for the ES coming to today. If we take a look at here on the SPY chart, very similar thesis. As you can see, higher lows are being built. We have our previous day lows, we have our Friday's lows. Basically, we have this flat top forming here as well. What I would like to see, right, pre-market's also creating a higher low. What I like to see coming to market open is really this push up in towards our previous day highs and above, which is going to be your 672.50. So this is what I have here coming into today for the overall markets. Another possible scenario for the SPY is if we dip all the way back down in towards that 670.50. If we dip down in towards that 670.50, that'd still be a higher low, and we'd still be looking good for this continued push back up and towards your previous day high and above. So at least right off the bat, we don't have any red folder news. The major red folder news is going to occur tomorrow with the FOMC minutes, and then we have some more on Thursday, and then Friday with the consumer sentiment. But basically for the SPY coming into today, right, we're still fairly bullish here on the higher time frames. We are building up higher lows, so we can expect the markets to just gravitate back up and towards the upside. So this is what we have for the SPY coming into market open. Keep an eye out on your 672.50 along with this 670.50 here for the ES along with the SPY chart. Now let's go on to the next charts that we have, which is going to be the NQ. In this case, the NQ, if we go into the hourly chart, this one still fairly bullish here as well, right? We're at all-time highs, every single dip being bought up here in the overall markets. Key levels that we have drawn out, really just these higher lows here now, plus we have this key level from its previous week. This is a very key pivot level. We tried getting above it yesterday. We had multiple touches around this general area, broke underneath it here now in the pre-market, but once we're reclaiming back above this 25,160, what I like to see now is really just this pushback towards the upside here on the overall market. So key levels that we can have marked out for the NQ coming into today. We can keep an eye out on this 25,180. As you can see here, what we have is multiple touches in the overall markets. Now we're trying to reclaim back above this level. What I like to see here for the NQ is to really just maintain above this 25,180 for this potential push back up and towards. Now it's going to be this previous day high and above. So keep an eye out on this 25,180 coming into today here for the for the NQ, higher time frame, key pivot level, multiple touches. This is the exact level you'd like to see the NQ maintain if we are going to see a push back towards the upside. If we take a look at here, the QQQ, the key levels that we have marked out is going to be the 607. So right here, as you can see, this is your 607, your last Thursday's highs, last Friday's highs, and now we just like to see it maintain above your 607 for really this continued push back towards the upside. So key levels that we have marked out on the Qs coming to today, 607.50. Other levels that we can have marked out here now is just going to be your all-time high 609. So key levels coming into today, right, either the bounce off your 607.50 for this potential continued push back towards the upside, or now we're going to be looking for the break above your previous day highs for this continued push back towards the upside here as well. So keep an eye out on the Qs, right? Take a look at the 607.50 level, and then we also do have your 609.50, which is going to be your previous day highs here on the QQQ. Okay. So that's what I have on the major indices coming to today, at least for the SPY and Qs. I'm going to quickly go over the SMH just because the semiconductors have been quite hot recently, and we're just continuing to push towards the upside. So the key levels I'm going to have marked out on the semis coming into today. I'm going to mark out your previous day lows or your key pivot level from yesterday along with this previous day high. So if we zoom out just a little bit here on the SMH, you can see higher lows. Very bullish here ever since we broke outside of this 326. You can see higher lows have been built, and now we're continuing to push towards the upside. So for me, at least the key levels that I have marked out is going to be your previous day lows along with your previous day highs here for the SMH. So you can see we created this gap that we had over the weekend. We are fairly bullish, so we're just going to mark out our previous day low key pivot level. A few scenarios. If you want to maintain bullish stance here on the SMH, maintain above your previous day lows 345. Also, another possible scenario is going to be now going to be the break above your previous day highs 348 for a continuation back towards the upside. So we have two scenarios here on the overall indices. On the overall semiconductor ETF, bounce off of your previous day lows, or now it's going to be the break above your previous day high retest for this continued push back towards the upside. So that's what I have here on the SMH coming into today. So we have the major indices marked out, the SPY and Qs. We're maintaining a bullish stance here just because of the higher time frames. We're at all-time highs. Higher lows are being bought. So we'll keep an eye out on the major indices for a push back up and towards our all-time highs today. Now, let's take a look at some of these tech names that we have coming into market open. Let's see. Let's read the chat really quickly. Voice is clear. Okay. Should be good. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Sweet. Okay. And we grab some water here. If you guys, by the way, do have any charts or any tickers you'd like me to go over, you guys can drop in the chat currently right now, and I'll go over some tickers. If you guys are enjoying this so far, I appreciate if you guys drop me a like. And of course, if you guys haven't joined the daily watch list, that one is in the description below. Let's see. Do you need market data? Yeah, you need market data. If you're trading IBKR, you're going to need market data. You're going to need real-time data if you want to place trades. Or your data is going to be delayed by 15 minutes. But you can actually place orders, but I wouldn't recommend it. First things first, Tesla. As you can see here for Tesla, bouncing off a key level support that we talked about on Monday. You can see right off our 416, we ended up getting back above really this 430, and then we also had other key levels, which was our 445. So for Tesla coming into today and coming into yesterday, the key levels that we have marked out is really now just going to be your Friday's highs. Very key pivot level here on the higher time frames. We got above it later into the session now. So for Tesla, primarily what I like to see is just the hold of your key pivot level from Friday along with its previous day if we want to see any sort of continued pushback towards the upside. So really this is going to be key here for Tesla. This is really the only area I'm looking for Tesla to gravitate higher. Right, we're either going to be looking for the bounce off of your 446. Another possible scenario here as well is if we can get back above your previous day highs for continuation higher. I personally, as I mentioned, like to see the buyers step in right off this 446. So that's going to be the key pivot level that I'm keeping an eye out on for Tesla coming into today. That's going to be the level 446 bounce here on Tesla. As for some of the semiconductors, let's take a look at AMD here. So AMD, we talked about this one. The key objective here was your all-time highs. You can see a little bit of rejection right off your all-time highs. This is what we're talking about, potential kind of profit taking right off our really 226 here. And you can see 226, some profit taking here in the overall markets. Now you have a little bit of reaction. We are still very bullish after the news. But for AMD, the key levels that we are going to have marked out coming into today, and really the only levels that matter is going to be now your previous day lows, which you can see kind of this general down close candle here as well. And then we have your previous day highs, which is going to be your all-time highs. So for AMD coming into today, let me actually just remove these levels. Coming into today, what I like to see is one of two things. Either the bounce and maintain above your 202.50, which is your previous day highs. Another possible scenario is we just consolidate potential kind of opening range break for this continued push higher here as well. In my opinion, I'd be a little bit more cautious actually on AMD today, at least for a day 2 move, just because we had a big push towards upside on day 1. We kind of just sold off once market did open. But I would be cautious on day number 2. It probably won't gravitate towards your all-time highs. Most likely just consolidate a little bit more and then eventually hit your all-time highs, maybe in a couple of days. So I'm not expecting a day 2 move here on AMD, but the key levels, as I mentioned, I'm going to have marked out 202.50 for a potential low risk off of your previous day lows. Or now it's primarily just going to be based off of intraday price action, and we're going to be looking for this pushback up in towards our all-time highs and above. So for AMD, at least today, I'm going to be a little bit more patient, but in the next couple of days, we are going to look for that kind of pushback up in towards our all-time highs, which is going to be that 226.90s. As for NVIDIA, let's go over this semiconductor here. You can see kind of buyers stepping in right off for 184. So at least on the hourly chart, this looks good here. You can see previous resistance. Now you can see this general area trying to turn into support. I would like to see on the higher time frames kind of this pushback up in towards your 189 here and above. If I go back onto the 15-minute time frame, key levels that we have marked out is just going to be this 184, and then we also have other levels here, which is going to be this 188. At least for me today, what I'd like to see on NVIDIA is a couple of scenarios. The bounce off of your previous day lows, 184 for this continued pushback towards the upside, or now it's really going to be this reclaim back above at a minimum above your previous day highs, 187 for this continued pushback towards the upside. So really the best case and the best scenario is going to be the bounce off of your previous day lows. We'll see if we can get that, or now it's going to be the reclaim back above this 188. In this case, the levels I actually have aren't as clear. I'll probably just refine it back up and towards this level, which is your Tuesday's highs of last week. And you can see kind of have a multiple touch here as well. So actually the key level for me is going to be, I readjusted it. It's going to be this 187 previous day highs along with your Tuesday's highs from last week. So that's actually going to be the key level for me on NVIDIA. As for Apple, another one where it rejected its all-time highs once again. Apple loves to do this. So keep in mind, Apple is a very hard name to day trade. Very hard name to day trade. The key thing for Apple is really good for holding. In this case, we've just been consolidating really inside of this range for the better part of the last 2 weeks here on Apple. So I'll be cautious on this name until we can really break outside of the range, retest, and continuation. Really in this general area, it's really going to be this no trade zone, right in between your 258 along with this 250. A little bit harder to navigate this price action, so just wait for the break above your 260 if you want to see any sort of continuation here on on Apple. As for the rest of the tickers here, not really too much to talk about. Google's starting to curl back towards the upside here. We can expect this one to push back up and towards our all-time highs. As for Amazon, this one's been consolidating. Meta actually came all the way back down into a key level of support yesterday. You can see kind of bouncing off of our really the 690 key level here. Buyers are stepping in nicely. Now we can expect a push back towards the upside. And then for the rest of the tickers here, what else do we have is Microsoft. This one's starting to curl nicely here as well. After consolidating for a bit, you can see really strong bullish candle close yesterday above our 520. Let's see if Microsoft, the buyers can start stepping in and we can start pushing back up and towards. Now it's going to be this all-time highs 550 here. As for the main levels that we have marked out on Microsoft, it's just going to be your previous day highs. If you want to see continuation, now we like to see Microsoft above your previous day highs for this, right, continue push back towards the upside. So that's what we have for some of these tech names here as well, at least for my top watches coming into today. Keep an eye out on Tesla off our keep an eye out on Tesla off your 446. And then AMD, as I mentioned, I'm going to be a little bit more patient on this one just after yesterday's big day. Now we're just kind of letting price digest. Yesterday we didn't touch AMD just because the IV was elevated. And then right off the bat, it kind of just dropped. So no setup presented itself either. And plus we already hit your all-time highs main objective. As for NVIDIA, now it's going to be the reclaim back above your previous day highs. This is in play today for me. We can reclaim back above your previous day highs. 187, you could be looking for a push back up and towards your 189. So really for me today, main two names is going to be NVIDIA along with Tesla. And then at least for the rest of the tech names, I don't see as much. We'll take a look at some of these other names here in a second. Let me take a look at this chat real quick. What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, let me go on to some tickers here. Let me go into some other tickers here, and then I will get ready for market open here now. Okay, let me go on to Hood and a few of these other names here. So number one, what we have here is Hood. We recently just came off of your all-time highs, and now you can see we're pulling back just a little bit here. As for yesterday's price action, we pulled back down in towards key levels, which in my opinion is going to be this 145. I'd like to see kind of buyers try and step in here off this 145. Other levels that I do have marked out here as well as your 142. But for me on Hood, I like to see maintain above your 145 for continuation. Another possible scenario, if it dips all the way back down in towards this 142, this is going to look good for a potential bounce play, and you'd be looking for the reclaim back above your 145. So those are the levels I have for Hood. Previous day lows along with your 143. As for a few other tickers, Intel not really doing too much, but higher time frame, very bullish. Key levels for me now is going to be this 36 key pivot level here on the higher time frames. As long as we can maintain above your 36, I am going to maintain a bullish stance here on Intel for this continuation higher. Right, if you just zoom out here on the higher time frames, right, very bullish. Right, higher lows are being established. Right, the next kind of base is going to be above this 36 for this continued push back towards the upside. Let's take a look at Palantir here. Key levels that we have for Palantir. Let me just kind of remove some of the things that we have. For Palantir, key levels that we have coming into today is now going to be your previous day highs, and we also have other key levels marked out here as well. So we have your previous day lows in this case, which is going to be this 178, and then we're going to also mark out this general area, which is going to be this 181. This is the key level that we have from yesterday. So for Palantir, if you want to see some upside, it's going to be above this 181 for potential continuation towards the highs. Another possible scenario here as well is going to be the dip all the way back down in towards this 178. And you like to see kind of the buyer step in off this 178 for this push back towards the upside. So for Palantir, keep an eye out on this 181 along with this 177. Those are the key levels that I have marked out coming into today. Let's kind of speed run a few of these other tickers. MU ended up having this pullback all the way back down in towards that previous day high pivot level. You can see buyers kind of stepping off this general 192. So that's going to be the key level moving forward, 192 here on MU. As for TSM, kind of nice push right off the bat. Key levels that we're going to have marked out here now is going to be your 306 semis maintaining strength. Just keep an eye out on your previous day highs or your previous day low balance for this continued push back towards the upside here on really a lot of these semiconductors. That's going to be key. As for a few other tickers, we can quickly go over. Oracle, this one's curling here on the hourly chart here as well. Key level that you'd like to see Oracle reclaim, and now it's going to be this 292. As you can see here, very key pivot level here on the higher time frames. If we can get back above this 292 here on Oracle, for me this looks fairly bullish. You can see multiple touches here. Now, if we can get back above this resistance level, we can see this nice continuation higher. So keep an eye out on Oracle coming into market open, right? If we can get back above, as I mentioned, now it's going to be above this previous day high pivot point, we can see this nice continuation higher. So keep an eye out above your 292 here on Oracle. AVGO is going to have to get above your 345. I see a couple people typing in SoFi here. This one really came back down into key levels of support. Now you can see the buyers are stepping in. SoFi looks very good, right? Key level that we like to see reclaim back above. Now it's going to be this 25 key psych level. You can see the buyers are starting to step in here as well, at least for the next levels that we have on SoFi. We can just draw at this level here, which is going to be your 720. You can see we have multiple touches here now for SoFi. If you do want to see continuation higher, it is about up 3% here in the pre-market. What I would like to see is going to be now the break above your 2720, hold above that level for this continued pushback towards the upside. So that's what I have here on some of these tech names coming into today. As for the rest of the tickers, a lot of names are shaping up nicely, right? Coin's starting to curl here, back up and towards our all-time highs. Keep an eye out on Coin. A lot of these ones are going to shape up nicely here, so keep an eye out on your previous week's key pivot levels. Really, Circle looks good for push higher. UNH, nice push kind of towards the upside, kind of basing above key levels here as well. OKLO, this one had a nice push towards your all-time highs. Key level is going to be this 142.42. And then for the rest of the names, right, keep an eye out on those levels. But yeah, let's see. Okay, at least for me, yeah, it's most likely going to be a shorter pre-market prep, as I mentioned, for this week at least. They are going to start at 8:15 just because I am traveling and we're on the West Coast. And then I'm not sure if the internet is the greatest, so I do have to get ready for that. But as for today, I'm going to quickly run down through my game plan once more, just very briefly, and then I'm going to get ready for market open. But basically, coming to market open, very clear. Previous day highs is going to be key as long as you can maintain above your 607, or now we can get above your previous day highs. We can expect this to continue towards the upside. Most likely the overall indices are going to gravitate up and towards your previous day highs in the pre-market here. So we'll keep an eye out on your previous day highs coming to market open, 607.50. Most likely now it's going to be the break above your 607.50 or consolidation for this break above in the actual market session. So this is what we have on the major indices coming into today. Keep an eye out on your previous day highs, as I mentioned here, for the SPY and Qs. As for my main watches today, keep an eye out on Tesla off of our 446. That is going to be the key level for me here on Tesla coming to market open. I do also like NVIDIA here as well, if we can reclaim back above your 187 previous day highs for a potential pushback towards the upside. As for AMD, we'll keep an eye out on the first kind of 15, 30 minutes here on AMD coming to market open, just because we had such a big day yesterday. And then really for the rest of the tech names, I don't really see too much besides Tesla and NVIDIA. A lot of these names are shaping up nicely here on the major indices, specifically the Qs. But we can keep an eye out on a bunch of these semiconductors since these ones are maintaining strength, right? Previous day highs here on TSM, right? MU key level is going to be this 192. Palantir, if you can reclaim back above this 181, this one looks decent for a continued push higher. And then my favorite really here is Oracle. I do like this one quite a bit. If we can get back above this 292 pivot level. And then of course, other names like OKLO, SoFi, right, starting to curl back here as well. So keep an eye out on those ones. Levels that you are going to have marked out is going to be your previous day highs for a potential break and retest of that, or you're going to be looking for the bounce off of your previous day lows for continuation higher here as well. But yeah, that is going to be it for me today. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter one. That's going to be the theme kind of all week. I'm just going to have these shorter pre-market preps, but hopefully you guys did enjoy that. If you did, Appreciate if you guys drop a like and sub. And of course, if you guys haven't joined the daily watch list, that one's free in the description below. And then I will see you guys all tomorrow. All right. Take care, everyone. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And I will see you guys in a bit. All right. Take care.